Did a little junk silver purchase, and I think we scored some nice ones. Hey everybody, it's Rob of the RobFindsTreasure, and I'm pretty dang excited right now because I stopped by my local coin shop, and this guy's prices are pretty fair, and I happened to call on my way to pick up my $half boxes. Let me flip this camera on and show you what I picked up. All right, guys, before we get into these coins, let me give you a little detail. So I called one of my local coin shops on the way to get my $half to see if he had anything cool. I asked what kind of bars he had, any rounds that he had, and if he had any junk or constitutional silver, because the last week when I went back to try to get some more stuff, he had been out for several days. I called several times, and whatever he gets in, he gets sold out of pretty quickly. And you know what he tells me? He says about 10 minutes ago, he just finished purchasing a bag of silver from a lady and her husband. They were a little bit older. The husband's brother had passed away, unfortunately, and left a bunch of coins. And it was over $110 in silver coins. And I asked what kind of silver coins it was. He says most of it was Roosevelt and Washington quarters, more modern stuff. And they were in pretty good shape. But about $30 to $40 of it was seated Liberty dimes, Mercury dimes, Barber dimes, standing Liberty quarters, Barber quarters. We had some Barber halves, he even said. So I said, I'll be right there. So I jammed down there and I opened the bag and I pulled out every single $half that was a Franklin or older. I even found a commemorative. I pulled out all the quarters that were standing Liberty or older. I pulled out all the dimes that were 20s Mercuries or older. And then I also grabbed this dime that I knew I needed for my collection and a couple of rounds. So bottom line is $34.80 in constitutional silver. He charged me 11 times face. I got a great deal on it, and I'll show you why. Because basically every one of these $half, 11 times face is $5.50. So I paid $5.50 a piece on these. The quarters I paid about $2.75 a piece, and we got a crap load of standing Liberties right there. Some of them are pretty bad, but again, I couldn't turn them down. We paid $1.10 per dime. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right there? And then I got a couple of rounds that he sold me for $16. He waived the premium because they had some markings on them. But either way, $415 for the lot, and I'm excited. I've sorted them by the type of coins they are, but I haven't separated them by year yet and looked for any major good dates or mint marks. So we'll be doing that during this video. I know I've talked a lot. Let me go ahead and get started. And I think what we'll do is we'll start with the dimes and we'll work our way back into history and we'll pull out the ones we've got. And then I plan on updating my Mercury dime album with these Mercury dimes. I don't know how many of these I'll actually use because some of them are pretty toasty, but let's stop right now. I'm so dang excited. Let's see what we got. All right, guys, getting into the dimes. The first dime that I picked up was a 1949. I saw that it was a Denver mint. And for those of you that know anything about the Roosevelt dimes, I'm sure you know that the 1949 is probably as close to a key date as you're going to get. It's not highly valuable. 49s are generally probably $3 to $5. If it was an S, it'd be worth more. And that's only in extra fine shape, and this is not extra fine shape. But at the end of the day, I still felt like if I was going to pull any Roosevelts out, if one catches my eye and it's a 49 or a 50 or even a 51, I would buy it. So I grabbed it. The next stack is going to be a whole bunch of Mercury dimes. And as you know, I'm putting together that collection. So I really wanted to take some time and just grab all the Mercury dimes I can. I threw out all the 30s and 40s. I knew I didn't need any 40s, but I only grabbed the ones from the 20s and the teens. The first one I was really excited about more than anything, as you know, a 1916D is a key date for Mercury dimes. This is a 1916, and I don't believe there's a mint mark on this one. Yeah, no mint mark, or at least not visible. So good pickup. It's not a 16D. We also picked up this one right here, a 1926. So this is a 26D. Now, had it been the 26S, only 1.5 million minted, but it's in pretty toasty shape. Either way, though, it is a 1926D, so not a key date, but definitely more valuable than a dollar that I spent on the dime itself. So let me go ahead and grab these Mercury dimes and put them in my collection and see if we have any updates, and I'll fill you back in. So I'm pretty excited, guys. I was able to use 13 of those dimes in my book, and guess what? We had a 1916S in that stack. I didn't see that the first time I ran through it. I must have missed it, but not that that's great, but still, it's a 16, so I just need that 16D, but we did find a 16 and a 16S. I found the 17D in there. Got most of these on this first page. Now that I've found a lot of those dimes, I'm only missing a couple from the teens and a handful from the 20s. And then, remember, I only bought the teens and 20s, so now that I see how many from the 30s I actually need, I'm probably going to keep an eye out for these as well. Still, Mercury Dime Book's getting close to being done. That was a pretty good buy there. For $1.10 each, we had some nice ones, and we had some trash ones as well, as you can see by the edges. We'll add these to the Mercury Dime roll, and now we're going to move on and show you what I found in the Barber Dimes. So I'm really excited about the Barber Dimes here. I've just stacked them up, but I haven't stacked them by year yet, guys. And it looks like we have some really nice examples. Look at the back of this one. I won't even look at the date yet, but look at that. And you got to remember, I paid $1.10 for these. So I'm going to stack them up in year order. That way we can go through them and see what we got. So I'm actually really excited about these as well, guys. Like I said, we've got a pretty good assortment of dates. Now, I do know that the Barber Dime key dates, you want anything before 1897, and our oldest ones that we have is a couple of 1897s. And then if you have any in the 1900s, you're looking for the S-mints first and foremost, but 1901 and 1903. There's some semi-keys that we'll check for as well, but we have a 1901 there, and we have a 1903 as well. So we really want to see if those two have a mint mark at all. So let's do that first. Let's check the back of this 1901. We're looking for any mint mark, to tell you the truth. And no mint mark on this one. Obviously on the Barber Dimes, the mint mark would be located right generally below the wreath. So that one's just a regular 1901 Barber Dime. There's nothing wrong with that. A 1901, there is almost 19 million minted, but still, we'll take it. And then 1903, same thing. This is another key date. We didn't expect to find key dates in junk silver buys, but you never know. So once again, no mint mark on the back of that one. However, I'll tell you, that's a pretty nice 1903. That's in pretty good shape. You got decent detail. Again, normal wear. Still, a 1903, almost 19.5 million minted. It's $4 in G4. It's $5 in VG8. And it's $6 in F12. This is probably a VG8 to F12. Maybe a little bit better because there is some detail on the back of it. Might be able to squeeze out an F12 to maybe an F15. But still, either way, nice dime. Definitely worth more than $1.10 I paid for it. Now that you've seen a few of the highlights of the dimes, or at least a few that I thought maybe would have been possible key dates, wishful thinking, I think now what we'll do is we'll move on to just showing you one at a time based on these years. We're trying to find maybe a 1904S. We only have 104, and it's got no mint mark on it. Or maybe it does. Let's take a look. It's just some damaging. Had it been a 1904S though, I know it's in pretty bad shape, but only 800,000 of these minted. It's not a key date, but it's a semi-key. We're also looking for a 1905 O mint mark, and since we've got a couple of 05s here, I figured we'd take a look at them. 1905S. Of course, we have an S on the 1905. Almost 7 million of those minted. Pretty common. But you know what? That is not in that bad a shape. Let me zoom out just a little bit. That's actually a pretty nice junk silver bin pickup for a Barber dime. 1905S. You know, these go up exponentially from $4 in G4 to $6 in VG8 to $9 in F12 to $20 and very fine 20. And maybe I'm being optimistic, but to me that's close to very fine. So that's a great score in my opinion. And then the other 1905, we're looking for an O, and there's no mint mark. So, oh well, we'll take it. And then as far as any other semi-key dates, you're looking for a 1906 O. We do have two 1906s. So we're looking for these to be an O, and we have a 1906 D. And that's 4 million minted of those, but unless it's in very fine condition, it's really not that valuable either. And honestly, this one's not too bad either. It's a pretty nice 1906. Probably not very fine with the rim damage, stuff like that, but still, it's got a mint mark. And then after 1906, really what we're looking for next is 1913. We're looking for a S mint mark, and I think we have two 1913s. It's got a little damage on the rim. Oh yeah, there, it's got a nice big chip right there in United. Outside of that, though, that's a pretty good-looking dime for a 1913. This is a pretty nice 1897 as well. No mint mark on that one. We've got a second 1897, which is pretty flat, pretty worn. It does have a mint mark. That's an 1897S. 1897S is not a bad coin. Yeah, let's go over to the book. 1897S, 1.342 million minted, $18 in G4 condition. And you can see the mint mark. You can make out some detail on the date. Probably G4 if I'm lucky. So even if we only cut that value in half at $18 at G4 and called it $9, this one here paid for 9 dimes. And then we have an 1899 there. And really, unless it's an O or an S, it's worth more than the $4. It's an S. So we've also got an 1899S. And again, 1899S, 1.8 million minted, 850 in G4, 16 bucks in VG8. And this one's not as bad a shape. 1899, clear date. Not too bad of back. That's definitely a G4, maybe even a VG8. So again, that's a couple of really good pickups. The rest of these are pretty common, again, but we have some good shape ones. Wanted to give you an extended look at these dimes since we had so many. I don't have a Barber dime album. It's coming in another week. And when I get these guys put in, I'll give you a close-up of what we got in the album. Let me go ahead and get these all tubed up, and then next we'll move on to the seeded dimes. All right, so I'm super excited about the seeded dimes that I was able to pick up. We've got a couple of really bad ones down here, which I'm not mad at because you can see dates on them. But we'll start with this first one. This is an 1890 seeded dime. And honestly, that's pretty good condition. The back's a little bit less good condition, but how often do you find in a junk silver bin seeded dimes with details on the shield, clear date, even a little bit of detailing on the clothes and everything, not worn flat? So I picked it up no matter what. This 1890, there was less than 10 million minted, and it's a $15 coin just in G4. Just in G4. And I'm going to give that a G4 all day. So we'll take it. Even some luster to it. Not a key date, of course. Not even a semi-key. We also got an 1887. There's no mint mark on this one either. But 11.3 million minted. $15 in G4. You know, it might be a step under G4. But I don't care. It's still at least a $10 dime. So I think we got our money's worth there. And then we've got two more, including an oldie. 1839 and 1877. So the 1877, guys, the backs are flat. We don't know what mint they're from. We'll never really know what mint they're from. You can barely, under certain lights, just make out the one dime on the back of that one. And you can't make out nothing on that one. But you can just see it back there in that light. So we don't know what mint they're from. 1877 and 1839. The 1877 is still going to be a variety 4. And really, whether it's a Philadelphia, it's a $15 in G4. It's Carson City, it's 30. If it's San Francisco, it's 15. So none of these are in G4. But you can see the date. And then the 1839 is intriguing. In 1839, they had no drapery from the elbow. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. If you look right in here, you'll see it's flat from the elbow of Liberty Seated. And 1840 and above, you won't see that there. This will actually, when it's worn away, you'll see that there's drapery coming off of the gown of near the elbow. So this is an 1839, no drapery. And in 1839, if it's made out of Philadelphia, only 1 million minted, $20 diamond G4. And if it's made out of New Orleans, it's $25, 1.3 million minted. So we don't know if it's made out of Philly or out of New Orleans because we cannot see a mint mark. Can't see it. But doesn't matter. An 1839 worn away seated dime, no drapery, in the junk silver. I'll take it all day. So I'm really happy because I only have a handful of seated dimes, and I feel like we added 4 more to the collection. That 2 are pretty toasty, but at least you can see the dates. At least you can see the dates. Pretty exciting stuff. Let me know what you think about those 4 seated dimes. All right, guys, next up we have some standing Liberty Quarters here. And I'll tell you, nothing was really that old. It would have been nice to find some oldies in here, but these are all 1925 to 1930. One we couldn't get a date off of, but telltale sign. You can see below the eagle back here, we have the 3 stars, and that's variety 2. No, it's not a 1916 because only 1917 through 1930 had the 3 stars below the eagle. Unfortunately, no idea of the date. We'll check it under the microscope and the loop in certain lighting angles and see if we can see something. And I don't see a mint mark either, hard to tell. But we'll put that to the side. Nothing really valuable in these standing Liberty Quarters. The only ones that would be valuable is if you could find a 27D and S between these years. And we do have 2 27s. But we got no mint mark on that one. The mint mark would be located right by this star. And no mint mark on this one. I'll go ahead and show you one with the mint mark. This 1926. You can see that there's a mint mark, an S, right by that last bottom left star. So, nothing that great on the standing Liberty Quarters. They're all in G4. They're worth $750, and I paid $275 a piece for these. And we've got some pretty good examples of them right here. Here's a 1930 S, and that's in pretty good shape. Still see some feathers, detail. You can still see the stars on the shield. So not too bad. 1930S is worth $750 in G4, and that's definitely G4, so not too bad whatsoever. Nothing amazing, nothing really to point out, but I love the Standing Liberty design, and I've got my album on order. We've got some toasty ones down here, but again, it doesn't matter whether there's a D, a P, or an S mint mark on these. They're all pretty much the same. Only ones that really matter were the 27D and S, and I didn't have any of those in these years of SLQs. Now let's move on to the Barber Quarters. So on the Barber Quarters, we really don't have anything valuable here as far as key dates. You remember on the Barber Quarters, you're looking for S mint marks and you're looking for a handful of years. Now, obviously, there are some valuable semi-key dates, and anytime you have a mint mark on a Barber Quarter that is an O or an S, it's going to be worth a little bit of a premium as well. So one of the things that you'll want to be looking for is mint marks first and foremost. None of these are in great condition, but we're going to do the first step and just flip them over and see if we have any mint marks below the eagle's tail feathers. I can't tell if there's a mint mark on this one. Looks like it was just damage. Yeah, ding right there. So I don't see any on the first couple. Yeah, we've got no mint marks on any of the Barber Quarters, and none of the years are key date years. But just for fun, since we paid $2.75 a piece for them, we'll just see if we have anything that's semi-key as well. This one's a little interesting. It has kind of a gloss to it, or a sheen, and it is a Philadelphia mint, and it is 1900. And 1900, it would be nice if this was a proof, because it did make 912 proofs out of Philadelphia. I doubt that it is. Maybe it just has some kind of coating. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this. It just looks different. Still, I'm happy picking up 6 Barber Quarters. I don't see a lot of those. And I thought it was a pretty good deal for $2.75 a piece. Now we're going to move on to the half dollars. So we'll start with this commemorative. I only picked it up because you don't see too many of the Booker T. Washington commemoratives out there. Not very valuable. 1951. I picked it up. It's pretty toasted, but I just love the design on it. And I'll never turn down a commemorative half dollar, especially one that's 90% silver and over 60 years old for $5.50. I ran through the Benjamins when I was there, and there really is no real key dates, but there are a couple dates to look for, and I have them on my silver stacker mat. There's the dates that you want to try to find because they're worth more. There's a little bit of a premium on them, but look at this. A 52S and a 54S are 2 of the dates listed that you want to find, and look what we found here. We got a 1952 S, and it's not in that bad a shape. So that's a date you want to find. I needed it for my album. And then right below it, a 54 S. So most of the Ben Franklins in very fine 20 condition are worth about $9. And the difference between 52S and 54S is they're worth about $12. So about a 33% markup from a standard year. And the fact that we found 2 of the dates to find, and they're not in terrible shape, I was pretty excited about that. The rest of them are pretty common coins, but I'll be checking them against my album, and I'll be filling it up, and I'll let you know how many I find and are able to put away. All right, guys, for the Ben Franklins, we were able to add 3 to the collection. We were able to add the 52S, the 54S, and the 57 Philadelphia. So we're still missing quite a few of the Franklins, but we found a few more to add, and that's always good. Now we move on to the Walking Liberties. So for the Walking Liberties, there is a lot more than this over there, and I didn't know which years and mints I needed, so I did it 2 ways. I picked up anything from the teens, 20s, and 30s that I thought I might need, no matter what the condition was, as well as any of the better looking Walking Liberties that looked like they had pretty good detail. Like, for example, this 1943 is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Picked it up for $5.50. You can't get mad at that. So that's just an example of some of the nice ones I picked up that I probably didn't need. I'm going to go through my book now and see what we got here. Just as a reminder, for the Walking Liberties, obviously there's a few key dates you want to look for. 16S, 21, both Philly and Denver, and then of course 38D. I'll see if I have any of those. I'm not going to bore you with all the Walking Liberties. What I'll do is I'll look at my book. I'll look for the semi-key and the key dates. I'll pull those aside, and then anything that I can put in my book or upgrade, I'll show you as well, and we'll see what I got. So first and foremost, guys, I'm pretty excited. I have a 1916 Walking Liberty here, and on the 1916 year, the mint mark is not on the reverse. It's on the obverse under In God We Trust. There isn't one, which is fine, because 1916, boom, G4 is $50. I got this for $5.50. Now, I'm not sure it's in G4 condition, but it might be. It's not that bad. So That's a really good pickup right there for sure. And we needed it for the book. Matter of fact, I'm really excited about the Walking Liberties I picked up. We also got a 1917. I believe that's just a Philadelphia. We got a 1918 S. A 1918 S. 18 bucks in G4. We got a 1919. I think that's a Denver. Yeah, 1919 Denver, only 1.1 million minted, $26 in G4. So we'll definitely take that. We got a couple of 1920s. One's a Philadelphia, and one's a Denver as well. And in 1920, the Denver, 1.5 million minted. No 21s. We ended up with a 29, and I believe there's a mint mark on it as well. Yep, 29S. And we go to 29S. Again, better than what you see on the values. We didn't get a 38D. We did get 138 here. It's a Philadelphia. That would have been nice to get a 38D. But here's the thing. Of all these Walking Liberties, I checked my album. Only one will not either upgrade or I don't need. Now, I needed a lot of Walking Liberty, so it's not surprising, but that's really cool. So let me go ahead and get these in the book, and then we'll show you the book when it's completed. And man, it's beautiful. All right, let me get them in the book and show you what we look like. So out of that whole stack of Walking Liberties, only 4 are either not used, or obviously these are the replacement ones that are from my album. So pretty good. So let's take a look here. On the front page, still missing quite a bit. We're gonna work on that, obviously, but it's nice filling a few holes on the front page. Second page, same thing. Key dates are missing, of course, but we did plug a few more in on the second page. On the third page, again, still missing some, but definitely plug it away. And on the second to last page, we need a couple at the top, 3 at the bottom. That 43 is a stunner. Absolute stunner for $5.50. I'll take it. And on the last page, again, missing a few. But man, we plugged in some holes. I feel pretty good. And now I can take some pictures of the album. And next time I go to the coin shop, I'll know which ones I need. So I'm not playing the guessing game, because I didn't even pick up some of their 30s or 40s that were not in great shape. And maybe I should have grabbed them as fillers. Now on to the fun ones, the Barber halves. All right, guys, here's the Barber Half Dollars. I don't have my binder yet. It's coming in the next week as well. So when I get it updated, I'll go ahead and show you the collection on those. But we did find a 1915p, a 1912p, a 1911p. We got 3 1909ps and a 1909s. Not a lot of extra value in the fact that it's an S. It still had 2.4 million minted. So these are all $16 coins regardless. A 1908, that's a D. And again, 3.3 million minted. 2 1907s, one's a D, one's an S. 1907S, it only has 1.25 million minted. So it's a little bit more valuable than the other ones. I'll take it. It has a mint mark. In 1906, we actually got a P, an O, and a D. So no S for that year, but pretty common, all of them. Nothing major. Getting older, we got a 1904. Man, had it been with a mint mark on it, an O or an S, it would have fetched a big premium, especially an S with only 553,000 minted. But it's a P, so 17 bucks or so. 1903, we got a Philadelphia mint, pretty toasty. We also got a 1903 S, and it's not in bad shape, to tell you the truth. That's a pretty good shaped coin right there. 1903S had 1.9 million minted, and it's $17 in G4. It's 19 in VG8, and I think this might even rally up to be an F12. And if it's an F12, it's about 60 bucks. What are your guys' thoughts? Think this gets a fine 12? It's pretty nice. So jumps up a lot from VG8 to F12. Now, if it's a 1903S and it's in VF20, $120 coin. So I'm kind of wanting to hear your thoughts on this one especially. I think it's one of the nicer ones of the lot. And then finally we got an 1898, just a Philadelphia mint, and pretty common coin for that year, almost 3 million minted, and it's pretty toasty on the front. But either way, I'll take it. It's a pre-1900s Barber half dollar. So at the end of the day, guys, we were able to add a lot of Barber dimes, a lot of Mercury dimes. We added some seated dimes to the collection. We filled up some slots in the Ben Franklins and the Walkers especially, and got a pretty nice score for $5.50 a piece on these Barber halves. Again, some are pretty toasty, some aren't in the best shape, but it's hard for me when I see Barber half dollars in a junk silver lot not to pick them up with legible dates and some with mint marks. Hope you enjoyed this long version of my LCS pickup. I know it was a longer video than normal, but a lot of you have been asking for me to spend a little more time showing what I get. And I know I rushed through some of the coins, and I know I showed a little bit more of the others. Hopefully you like this format. If you do, I appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to see some more LCS pickups, let me know in the comments below. As always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.